Anger begets more anger, and forgiveness and love lead to more forgiveness and love. Yes, this is said by Vardhaman Mahavir. See, if we will give anger to others, or begets means produce, if we will produce the anger or forgiveness, we will again return it. See, if we will live our life like this, then definitely the happiness will be ours. Otherwise, we will get only sorrow. Hello, students. Myself, Minal Deshpande. How are you? Hope so you all are fine and you are taking care also. Students, in our previous video, we started our lesson number 5, Religious Trends in Ancient India. In that, we took information about Jainism, Vardhaman Mahavir, the Panchamahavratas, Three Ratnas, and essence of his teachings. We took information about his teachings and his proper teaching or his main teaching that love all living things, have a mercy and compassion, and live and let live. Students, today we are going to learn about our next point, which is 5.2, Buddhism. Students, this Buddhism spread in India and in many countries outside India. Gautam Buddha was the founder of Buddhism. No poison can kill a positive thinker, and no medicine can save a negative thinker. See, these great views are of Gautam Buddha. Mind is not a dustbin to keep anger, hate, and jealousy, but it is the treasure box to keep love, happiness, and sweet memories. These views are also of Gautam Buddha. Ego never accepts the truth. He said that ego should not be there in ourselves. Now, actually we are going to take information about Gautam Buddha. 563 BCE to 483 BCE. Gautam Buddha was born at Lumbini in Nepal. His father's name was Shuddhodhan and mother's name was Maya Devi. His birth name was Siddharth. He had attained knowledge of a human life in his entirely means whole or full life. That is why he came to be known as the Buddha. He wanted to know why there is a sorrow and suffering in human life. Suffering means experiencing pain. Why we have to survive from sufferings means from pains. He left his home and all comforts in pursuit of the answer to this question. The question is there in his mind that why we have to suffer, why we have to face sorrow. So he left his home and he tried to find out the answer of that question. He also, on Vaishak Purnima, he was sitting in deep meditation under a peepal tree at Uruvela, near the city of Gaya in Bihar. That is when he attained Bodhi, enlightenment or the highest knowledge. The tree is now known as the Bodhi tree or Bodhi Vriksha, and the place Uruvela is known as Bodh Gaya. He delivered his first sermon at Sarnath near Varanasi. Sermon means one lecturer or we can say a tutor. His teaching in the first sermon are termed Dhamma. Whatever lecture is given by him or tutor told whatever things or he taught whatever that is termed or that is known as a Dhamma. He set in motion the wheel of Dhamma in this sermon, and therefore this event is called Dhammacakkapavartan in Pali and Dharma Chakra Pravartan in Sanskrit. Later, he travelled on foot for nearly 45 years to preach Dhamma. He preached in the people's language Pali. That time, whatever language used by him for giving his knowledge, that language is Pali language. In Buddhism, the concept of taking refuge in Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha is important. Refuge means a state of a safety or a protection or a shelter. That time protection or a shelter was given in it. It is known as Trisharan. The essence of the Dhamma he expounded is as follows. He told noble truths, 4 noble truths told by him that are also known as Arya Satyas. There are 4 truths at the root of all human affairs. They are called noble truths or Arya Satyas. First one, Dukkha or suffering. There is suffering in human life. Already I told you, he always have that question in his mind that why human have to suffer or why human have to face sorrows. Second, the cause of dukkha. Cause means the reasons. There is a cause of sufferings. Some reasons are there. He told that there are some reasons. Third, dukkha nirvan. It is possible to end sufferings. Means, see, firstly, he told about dukkha. There is sufferings in all human life. Yes or not? And why? Some reasons are there behind it. And in third step, if we will try, then we are possible to end that suffering. That is known as dukkha nirvan. And fourth number, that is pratipad. Pratipad means the way. Way is only with us and we have to follow some rules, then we can be happy. See, means these 4 steps, 4 truths told by him, he wanted to tell that human beings are only the reason, or because of some reason we are making ourselves, we can say we are putting ourselves in that sorrow. Now, 4 steps, whatever he told, this is the way of a good conduct. It is known as the Ashtangic or 8-fold path. That 8-fold path we will see afterwards. Okay. Now, Panchashil. Gautam Buddha asked people to follow 5 rules. He said that if you want to be happy, then you have to follow some rules, and from that 5 rules are given here. The rules are called Panchashil. Now, which are they? The first one, stay away from killing animals. Don't kill animals. That is the first rule. Second rule, stay away from stealing. Already I told you, don't steal anything. And don't collect the things which are not needed for you. Third step, or we can say that is third rule, stay away from unethical conduct. Unethical conduct means morally bad or not morally appropriate. Our conduct should be very proper. It should not be unethical. Fourth rule, that is stay away from telling lies. Don't tell lie. Always speak truth. Fifth one, stay away from intoxicants. Intoxicants means the things which are poisonous. Don't touch it. Stay away from that type of things. If you will follow these 5 rules, then you will be happy. So these 5 rules are known as Panchashil. Okay. See, when we were studying in Panchamahavratas, that time that are Ahimsa, Satya, Asteya, Aparigraha and Brahmacharya. But here Gautam Buddha told Panchashil that I explained. Now about Buddha Sangha. He created a Sangha of bhikkhus to preach his religion. He wanted to spread Buddhism, that is why he created Sangha. Sangha means group. Followers who have gave up their domestic life. The persons or the peoples, those who gave up their life, their day-to-day life, and they entered in the Sangha were called bhikkhus. Okay, those who entered in it, those who entered in that group, and they just gave up their own life, their domestic own life, they are known as the bhikkhus. They too travelled on a foot like the Buddha to preach Dhamma to the people. These followers, these bhikkhus are also travelling with the our Gautam Buddha. Now, there was a separate Sangha of women. Women can also participate in it, and they are called bhikkhunis. Okay, the person or the man called bhikkhu and the women's called bhikkhunis. People of all varnas and caste could embrace Buddhism. All peoples can enter in it. Permission is there given by him. Now, essence of his teachings. Essence means a significant feature of something. Now, some significant features of his teachings, which I am going to tell you now, or we can say the teachings of Gautam Buddha. He announced the freedom of human intelligence. He refused the discrimination based on the things like a varna. He never liked the discrimination on the basis of the varnas. No one is greater or smaller by the birth. He said that his views are like this, that he said that there should not be discrimination. No one is greater or smaller by his birth. Greatness depends on one's behavior or a conduct. Mainly, he told that the greatness of that person is depend on his behavior and on his conduct, not on his varna. One of his famous quote is that even the little quail can chirp freely in her nest. He said that quail means a small bird. Okay, that bird who have a freedom that he can also chirp very freely. He can move. He can do whatever he want. Little bird is also have that type of freedom. Then this shows his thinking on the value of freedom and equality. He liked equality. He never discriminate. He preached that like a man, woman too had the right to their own upliftment. Upliftment means progress. Both have the same right. He opposed the rituals of a yajna. His teaching of a wisdom, moral virtue, and other values are aimed at the welfare of a man. Whatever teachings he gave for what or of wisdom, moral virtues, and values for what? For the welfare of the person. Now, compassion means karuna for all living beings was an extraordinary feature of his personality. He said that compassion should be there in the person. Karuna should be there for all living beings. Same way, the tolerance preached by Gautam Buddha is a guiding principle not only for the Indian society but for all mankind even today. Now, Lokyat, the ancient trade of thoughts known as Lokyat or Charvak is also important. It emphasizes, means stress, it's tolding, it's giving us a knowledge about independent thought and rejected the authority of the Vedas. In the ancient period, new religious trends and thoughts went on emerging in India. See, now we know about Gautam Buddha, and also I told you that he told the eightfold path. Yes or not? Now, which are they? The first one, right view. The knowledge of the Four Noble Truth. Already Four Noble Truth told by me. Dukkha, the cause of Dukkha, Dukkha Nirvan and Pratipad. Same way, the knowledge is important. Second, from eightfold path, the second point, that is right resolve. Right resolve means find out solution. For what? Giving up a cruelty. Give up cruelty means don't be a great degree or don't be a terrible. Third one, that is right speech. Refrain from telling lies, telling tales, rude, harsh and meaningless speech. Okay, so right speech from be there. Refrain means to stop from some action. Okay. Fourth one, that is right conduct. Stay away from killing animals, stealing and uncontrolled behavior. So right conduct should be there. Fifth one, right livelihood. Using only the proper means of livelihood means for earning money or anything, you have to be proper. Don't use improper methods. Sixth one, right effort. Making effort to avoid wrong acts, giving up wrong acts, undertaking the maintaining good acts. Okay. Next one, that is seventh, right mindfulness means be aware. Being mindful to remove passions and concentrating on trying to understand one's own feeling and mind. The last one, that is right concentration, experiencing deep meditation with concentration. These are known as eightfold path. Okay, see students, in ancient India, in ancient period, there were new thoughts, new trends came, and after that, later on period, religions like Judaism, Christianity, Islam and Zoroastrianism also took root in the Indian society. Now one by one we will take information about them. Okay, now already I told you about Buddhism, Gautam Buddha's information, about his Arya Satyas, his Panchashil, his Buddha Sangha, his teachings, his eightfold path and also Lokyat. Students, now in our next video we will see about these remaining religions, okay, like a Judaism, Christianity, Islam and a Zoroastrianism. Okay, now take your homework. Now students, you have to write short notes on Gautam Buddha. Your first short note is Gautam Buddha and second one, teachings of Gautam Buddha. Okay, you have to write his teaching in second short note. Thank you.